Michael Laverty, his confidence has visibly increased this weekend after that victory at Old Park. And the Irishman in the green helmet now really threatening Michael Rutter on the ridersmotorcycles.com Ducati. Backed, of course, by Batham's Brewery of Delft in the Midlands.
And it's good stuff, is it? I'm not a bitter man myself, but it is fairly nice.
You can stomach it, can you?
It's free.
And look at this, number 8, Chianari, 33 Hill, then the battle for third place, number 6, Rutter, who has just been super smooth. James, what was impressive about Michael Rutter during qualifying yesterday was when they broke down the 3 different sectors of the lap into the best sector each rider has gone.
So he's off, that's Tommy!
And it's Tommy Hill! Oh, cha! Tommy Hill, the first mistake Tommy Hill has made.
He's not getting back on that. That's
the first mistake he's made this series.
I reckon he'll have clipped a curb at the left-handed of all bends, and that's lifted the wheels off the floor.
And that's a mistake we've seen made before. Cal Crutchlow suffered there with the HM Plant Honda exactly that way 2 years ago, James.
I think so.
So surprisingly, Tommy Hill has gone down. Keogh now has an advantage of 1.9 laps as his teammate Josh Brooks continues to harry the bright green Kawasaki of Chris Walker.
Pace car's out, I think. I think what happened there, well, we didn't actually see it, but I think what we'll find is there, Jack, you're sort of committed. When you turn into the first right-hander of Hall Bends, it's right, left, right, and then down into the hairpin. And it's all about timing. If you go in 6 inches out of line, that puts you a foot out of line for the second bend and 2 foot out of line for the third of the bend.
And do you know, Tommy has been at 0.3 of a second quicker than anybody
all the way
else
through there,
through that woodland section.
That's the section where Tommy's been really quick. You've got to, it's about timing. It's all about where you're turning to the first one, but it's also about bang, bang, bang. It's about kind of muscling the bike through quickly from one side to the other. And that's what Tommy's good at. Oh, he has been.
He was explaining to his crew in between warm-up and the race how he was having to put a lot of physical effort into that. Incidentally, he's got the team came. They had some brand new front forks from Ohlins. They used them, changed back to the previous one, used the new ones again, and then for qualifying yesterday, put the previous ones back in. So he's had a bit of a topsy-turvy front-end ride.
There's a lot of smoke there, and that could actually have been fire extinguisher or kind of dust. There's certainly.
The safety car is out in front of Chianari. There's number 56, MAR Kawasaki's Hudson Kenner, who leads the Evo class, remember, for the Malcolm Ashley racing team. So across the line, the guys have to hold station now, but James, they'll want to close that long gap on Keogh at the front.
Yeah, they will, yes. Well, Keogh's actually only just coming up to the pace car even now, and everybody else has kind of dropped back from that. But really, they really need to get behind the pace car, and everybody needs to close up. It's so frustrating, you know, when you're out there and the rider in front that you're not allowed to overtake doesn't catch the rider in front of you. That's frustrating.
Josh Brooks will get the opportunity to close the gap. He'll be frustrated if the boys in front don't close the gap on Keogh smartly, you know.
And they're not doing. When you look at that.
There's Michael Rutter just cruising round.
There's no question.
Expecting the safety car to stay out for a while. Exactly. At the moment, Brooks is down in 7th place. What he needs to do is somehow surprise the cagey old Chris Walker off the restart. That could be a big ask.
Firstly, he needs Rutter to actually catch up with Chianari in the front of this race. There's quite a big gap at the moment.
So we've reached 1/3 distance in the race. The safety car is out. So Tommy Hill is out for the first time. He's had a super consistent. He's had a super consistent race through this championship so far, Tommy Hill.
Yeah,
had a handsome lead in the title before he went out and did that. 126 points to 75, a 51-point advantage. Remember, 25 points for a race win, so there's no way Tommy isn't still going to be top of the table at the end of this race.
Especially with the second place man, Stuart Easton, all beat by 1 point as out of this race as well.
Well, you know, Chianari, he's only 8th in the table, James, and remember, come the last 3 rounds, only the top 6 are allowed to fight for the title.
Yep.
To start gaining points. Tommy Hill, of course, has been on the rostrum at every race so far. This will be his first miss with that spectacular get-off in the woods.
But remember, in this first part of the championship, Jack, the first 9 rounds, you're allowed to drop your 2 worst scores as long as you've qualified for the race at that meeting. So this might not have a massive impact on.
I only became aware of that talking to James Ellison yesterday. Hence his heartbreak of not being allowed to
qualify.
try and qualify. So he can't drop this non-score.
No, he can't drop it as a non-score because he has to drop something that he's actually qualified for, and this one's not the case.
There's the Gentin BMW of Steve Brogan.
Yep.
He's leading the Evo class in 14th place in this race, ahead of Chris Burns having a good ride on the split lap Aprilia. Hudson Kenner's Kawasaki 16th, 17th for Aaron Zanotti. So those lads all close together, the Evo class boys. Hudson Kenner, of course, leads that championship by just 3 points from David Anthony on the missed Suzuki. There's number 25, David Anthony. Here's Tommy Hill marching back, looking slightly displeased with himself. And currently Tommy Hill would get 4th place on the grid for race 2 in terms of the number of the lap time that he's set so far before he had that mishap.
I think he'll still end up on the 2nd row of the grid. Remember, 3 on the grid here at Cadwell in a narrow track, and I'm sure Tommy will end up on at least the 2nd row of the grid for the 2nd race, so it isn't so bad in that respect.
So look at that. Rutter's a wily old fox, isn't he? He's just closed
Car
right down
coming in this lap,
time.
I think. They're all bunching up, Jack. Car coming in. Car's pulling across.